Please welcome Takerlik and Nina.
Do you want a chair? No, you have to sit.
Yes, the sun will set soon enough.
Wait.
She's finding her way. Okay, hi. Oh, more picture. Go take her picture. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We'll be with you in a minute.
Part of the family. Nice. All right. So you two are doing this.
Right.
You know the drill.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
All right. Hello.
Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, Dan. Hey, we switch sides. No, it's good. We changed it up a bit.
Yeah.
Good evening, everybody.
So now we're going to do quilting in backwards because we switched sides.
How many of you have heard throat singing before?
Yesterday.
Oh, just about everybody now. We're done.
Yeah. Close your eyes and remember it. We'll be done in a second. Okay, now we're going to have to make it super fresh. I don't know how we're going to do this. Well, y'all know who we are, and you all know what we do.
How about we introduce each other?
Okay.
So this is Nina Segalowitz. She was born in Fort Smith, Northwest Territories, which is far, far up north. Her mom was of Inuvialuit, Portuguese, and Senegalese heritage, hence the beauty. Her biological father is Chipewyan, which are Diné people related to Navajos in the States. Hence the beauty. I met Nina something close to 20 years ago. And it's funny when you get to that stage where 20 years is like, you can remember 20 years. It's like, and I guess it's the same thing when you get to 40 years. You're not a different person. You don't feel different. I've started to realize that. What about Nina? She was adopted. She was forcibly taken from her family and what was something sometimes referred to as the 60s scoop, where Aboriginal children, Native children, were forcibly taken from families for their own good, supposedly, to be assimilated into society. Didn't work, obviously. Nina went back to India. Yes. So Nina has reclaimed her Inuit heritage. And audiences have been falling in love with her for decades.
I have no idea how I'm going to follow that. Beauty. Nice Scottish Inuit mix.
You have to mention what you're...
Oh, that's right. And she's wearing blueberry earrings from here, Sievertson Gallery. They're available at Sievertson. Here at this fabulous gallery. This is Takerlik Partridge. It took me a while to learn how to pronounce her name, Takerlik. And I met her. She came up to me, actually. We were going to Concordia University together. And I was working at the table. I was working as a worker, community worker for Native students, support worker, and I had my display table. I was all proud, and she just came right up to me. She's like, "Are you Ina?" I was like, "Yeah." And what's it to you? And then a beautiful friendship just started, and
all based on chocolate.
Yeah, all based on chocolate. We used to skip classes to go eat chocolate together, and we used to do powwows together. And when I first met her, she had these two cute little kids, little babies. And they were all around the university with us at the center where I worked. And she was like, you know, Mother Earth to me. She was like mom and student and friend. And then I got to know her and I realized how crazy she was on the inside. And we have, we've gone through a lot together, and we have kids the same age. Like, our teenagers are the same age, our babies are the same age, and it's throat singing. We've been to Lyon, France together, and we traveled to France with our babies on our backs, and that was amazing. And she makes hats. She makes Inuit hats called nasuks. She draws wickedly, and she writes poetry wickedly, and she's a fabulous mom. Very, very fabulous.
Okay, we're done. Let's do the throat singing.
Okay. I was running out of things to say anyway. Just kidding. No.
I discovered why Nina always wins is because she stands on this side.
Dang it, my secret is out.
Oh.
Has anyone ever passed out doing that?
No, because our breathing is part of the sound. So it's like the effort is really here. That's where you get tired. If you pass out, you're doing it wrong. You're not breathing. So no.
Or actually, someone may have, but they were too embarrassed to admit they had ever. Too ashamed.
I'm sorry. I don't have anything to say because I know you guys are already seen it, and I just want to keep laughing. No, I have plenty to say. I was just something to say, but I'll do some more throat singing. Which side I stand on.
Did that song have a name?
That's Baker Lake style. Baker Lake is actually in Nunavut. It's somewhere I visited when I was a child, but It's the other side of Hudson Bay. So where I'm from is on Quebec side of Hudson Bay. Nina's from way west.
Where,
And
Alaska?
Baker Lake is sort of smack in the middle. And they have great blueberries there. Yes.
Someone's obsessed with strawberries.
Yeah.
Like, do you with the money? I'm just kidding. Oh my goodness!
Okay, so maybe this side gives a little bit of an advantage.
Okay. I don't know. Oh my
All things
goodness.
considered. Huh. Okay.
I actually wanted to share something completely different that has nothing to do with being, anyway. We were talking earlier today about songs that we have for our kids when they're tiny. And I've been missing my kids since I've been gone. So I thought maybe I could share a song that I sing to my baby to put her to sleep. I'm gonna try not to cry, but this is a happy song because I'm gonna see her tomorrow. So if you don't mind and indulge me, I'll sing her to a song that I sing to her. One day one day one day hey yo, hey yo, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. One day one day one day one day hey yo, hey yo, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya.
I don't know what's happened to my brain. I'm sorry, CJ.
Whenever you have any questions.
Yeah, that's a good place
That
to
we
go.
haven't answered already, yes.
Does it hurt? When you get to doing those low kind of guttural, does it hurt?
No, it doesn't hurt because when you're doing it wrong, it hurts. Except when we have like a cough or something, it gets kind of really scratchy. Or like we've been in performances where they have dry ice. Oh, that's really bad. But other than that, it just gets tiring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do men throats in?
Oh, they can't handle.
There are a few.
Just kidding. I feel all the men like, what? We can handle that.
There was a question.
That was my question.
Ah, okay.
Can you explain a little bit how you personally learned it and who you learned from?
Well, we kind of learned around the same time. My experience was, it was our friend, well, she's actually my cousin, but who was already throat singing, and I was interested in learning, and she just did a little demo at her apartment, and she said, okay, try and come back and show me when you know how. So listen to I said CDs, but it was actually cassettes. And just, you know, try with other people, and yeah, I was like 20 or something now, so I didn't learn it when I was a child. When I was a child, there were not really people around who were still doing it. Now there are many, many in all different communities across the north. But then there were only a few communities where they were still throat singing.
What she said. Because we learned together. Like when I know I was laughing about a meeting at Concordia, but we were both. I think, you know, when people, you know, I believe strongly in people coming into our lives for a reason. And I was on a path of self-discovery, and she just added something, and we both were able to discover the singing together. So we kind of supported each other through, like, learning how to properly do it. And we, you know, our friend Evie, she taught us, and we were so excited when we got it. We couldn't wait to learn more songs. So.
Is it a Canadian thing?
Is it Canadian?
You talk about up north, but does that mean it's...
It is actually
Canadian?
mostly eastern Canadian Arctic. So there's Inuit all the way from Greenland over to Alaska, and even in Russia, who speak very similar language and have very similar culture. So that's like our home territory. It spans, you know, 3 continents. But the Inuit in Russia and Alaska and Greenland, as far as I know, they don't necessarily have traditional throat singing, but they do have their own different kinds of singing. And I think it may have been spreading to those different regions as well, because there's a lot of interaction with other Inuit, and there's a lot of other cultural similarities. Like the carvings you see here from Alaska are just so, to me, they're so obviously Inuk. Like I could say that my cousin made something like that.
Is it always 2 people, or do you play with more?
Always 2 people. At least minimal 2 people, because it's like syncopated. If we'll do it together, and you'll see the difference. And syncopated is. So if you're alone, it doesn't sound the same. So, but you can, I throat sang up north in 2001, and there was like, what, 75 throat singers? 75 throat singers together. And that was like the most mind-blowing. You know, people are like, oh, I want to go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa. I'm like, no, I'm in POV, you know, 75 throat singers. And it's like,
Yeah, that was right around September 11th.
Yeah.
And it was such an intense time, and
wow.
I went on the plane the day after September 11th to go up there for that. And we were all these throat singers doing this thing that just felt so significant. Like we were doing something to be together and, you know, making art and making performance, which was, you know, peacemaking. So
Yes.
that was really, really great.
And at this conference, there was like little kids from 3 to 73 that were singing, like women and little girls. And so it was, yeah. So, and we got into circles, love more than 2, like 2, 4, 6, 8, and it was very powerful. Oh no.
It's really hard and it sounds funny, but
Yeah.
I like to do it once in a while. We'll do mosquito, we'll do mosquito.
Yeah.
CJ, John,
Ari,
Abby.
Abby. Where's Abby? Abby. Abby. Yay, Abby! Can I invite all the Silverton staff up here, please? Yeah, all the Silverton staff, you guys gotta come up. Yeah. Everybody's gonna come up. Yeah, everybody. Neil, that includes you. I know you're trying to hide behind the punch bowl.
Yeah, it's mine in the.
Not gonna happen.
All right. Try to let go of all the refuge. Awesome. Wow. This is a
So
first.
you guys are on this side.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
This is a first. We've never actually done this.
No. So did excellent.
So what we're gonna be doing, we're gonna pit you guys against each other.
Perfect.
I'm glad I'm on Andy's team.
We're on the best team. We're on Nina's team.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is the simple sound. Again?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and part of the song, have you not been paying attention? I'm just kidding. It's part. All right, so you.
Who's starting?
You are. Hold on. Keep going. Oh, you're out.
It's only Carrie.
Come on, Carrie. Oh, you're out. You see why I get a hot up here. You understand why I started schwitzing up here. Thank you guys so much.
We're gonna go now.
So I want to thank everybody for having been here. I think every year, this is my 5th year, and this is Tacolic's 1st year. And every year there's something special that happens when you all show up. And you guys, each year you become part of my journey, and I hope I become part of yours. So I'm really honored to have been invited to come and sing with you and share this experience with Tacolic and the whole gang at Silverton. You guys are my family, you know that. So, nakohimik very much. Thank you. We're doing one more? We'll do our favorite one.
We'll just do the last one because it's our last time singing
Last singing.
for this trip. Oh,
Oh,
sad.
I'm sad. So Tacklet will be now performing and sharing something very special.
Hi, again. I wanted to say thank you to CJ and Jan and everybody. Abby, who's been running us around like crazy, and using up all her energy. Is this on?
I think it's
It's
on.
on, right?
Doesn't sound like it's on.
Hello? I was just saying thank you. Thanks. Okay, bye. So, I am a writer, and I write poetry for performance, so it's not really for the page. I also write short stories, and I write children's books. And I was hoping that I could share a short story with you. It's not too long. You could sit there for a few more minutes. I have a poem to share too, but I'll see, which way should I do the poem? I think I'll do the story first, just because if I do the poem, then the story's going to seem long. You won't sit there that long. It's called Igloolik, and I've lived in the south of Canada for several years, and it was very, very difficult for me at first, and still sometimes is, because well, people here are probably mostly from small towns, and you know how it is when you go to a big city. If you spend any length of time there, it's kind of like a culture shock. So for me, moving to a city was like moving to another planet. It was just something else. My hometown at the time was about 1,000 something. Now it's more like 3,000 people, but and that was a huge, huge town. I had lived in towns that were like 300, and there's still some towns that are about 100. And when we talk about towns being that small, they're not just that small. You can't drive there. You can only fly there, or you can take the slow boat from China. But it's it's really isolated. Except for now there's Facebook, right? So this is kind of a story about people who have a hard time living in the south. It's called Igloolik, and Igloolik is a community in Nunavut. It's not actually about Igloolik, it's about somebody who's from there. That's just like you, Sippy, she said. He went out to the Dep, the corner store, for a pack of smokes, and he never came back. Alice was on the couch in the living room with her feet tucked up under the cushions, and speaking of smokes, I think she really wanted to light one up right there. You know, Sippy looked like he was going to leave, too. No, it's not like that, I said. But it was, in a way. In August, he took me out for Greek, a real date, with makeup and iron shirts and the waiter smiling patiently when we said we would sit on the same side of the table. The fish was $50 and it tasted like nothing to me. The walls were blue and white. I took my sandals off and crossed my legs, and he rubbed a finger along the sole of my foot. He didn't say much, but we usually didn't say much. And after the fish, before the coffee and the dessert, he took out this little black pen. He wrote Igloolik in really small syllabics on the tablecloth. That was the first sign. Alice put on her coat and boots, and she got out her lighter and her Du Mauriers, and we were smoking on the back porch. People get this look when they're going to leave. She said this with smoke coming out her nose. But he's not dead, I said. It doesn't matter, same thing. She liked to take a puff in between sentences for emphasis. My mother used to say when people are going to leave this world, they get really beautiful. Like the time she was picking berries with her cousin Apotik, and she looked up and Apotik was so beautiful, she couldn't look at her straight. Apotik died within a month. Cancer or something. I don't know, they didn't have any doctors back then. Anyway, she looked like she was going to leave. And Yusipi, he needed a shower that day, and he was wearing this stupid cap, and he had holes in his sweatpants. He said he would be right back. I never bothered to say I love you or anything. But just when he went out the door, he smiled. And I had this Oprah moment where I thought he was the most beautiful thing I ever saw. Next thing you know, the police are at my door saying he's been hit by a bus. I thought Alice was going to start crying. But he's not dead, Alice. It doesn't matter. We threw the butts at the coffee can. Living in the South is like holding your breath underwater for a long time. You get good at it. If you want to survive, you grow gills. You put aside the limbs you once had, and you swim. This is what Alipa was good at saying, doing, saying things in pictures. Guy could take a woman's heart in his palm just by breathing, and it wasn't just his looks. It was the slow talk with the quick wit and the gentle touch and the hands like you could tell he was made for making things. He was short, but not angry about it. He was quiet, and he could make children and loud, crazy people ease up. I say all this like he's dead, but it's my idea that's dead, I suppose. I tried everything. I called up north every week asking for caribou, char, mattak, misirak, miracles. I stewed seal meat in my biggest stainless steel pot. I made him new mitts that curled around his palms. I promised that we would spend next summer at my uncle's camp at the mouth of the river. I dressed nice. I prayed. But he sank all the same. He started slacking off at work, even skipping work. He got lippy with the bus drivers when they insisted on speaking French, and he got paranoid about being too skinny. He was up in the middle of the night cooking bacon, and when I came into the kitchen, he said, "Nothing tastes good here," waving the spatula over the table and encompassing all of Montreal. In September, I had to take a course in Winnipeg. My flight was at 7, and I stood at the window at 5:30 waiting for the taxi's lights to show. Inuit are good at waiting for taxis. Alipa had slept in his clothes. I hadn't planned to wake him. I didn't want to admit that I thought he would be gone when I got back. I looked at him really hard, trying to memorize the curve above his lip and the shape of his forehead. I sat down. "You know," I said, "I could get a really good paying job in Iqaluit. We could move there." But Iqaluit was not Igloolik, and I didn't have any family there, and neither did he, and Igloolik was calling his name. I got angry. I said, "If you really loved me, you would be running after a way to stay with me." He didn't say anything, and the taxi was here. I felt like such a jerk on the plane ride, and my third night in Winnipeg I got shit-faced and cried until I puked, and the morning after I accepted that he was probably already gone, back to Igloolik, back to crowded houses and wide open sky and good dry cold and seal hunting and all his sisters. Instead, I got off the plane and he was waiting for me. No flowers, not dressed up. He smelled like he hadn't taken a shower for days. He was shaking when he took my luggage, and we walked into the parking lot, and I thought he was going to say, "This is it, I'm leaving." Instead, he pressed me up against the car with his hands on my face, and he looked me in the eyes and said, "I want this. How do we do this?" God damn it, was he beautiful. I knew he was lying, even though he didn't. After that, we had a month, a whole month. No crying, no fighting, no worrying about how's it going to be. It was just good. The way it can be when you accept that things that have a beginning must have an ending. His sister called. Something about his aunt, his Sanayi, the one who cut his umbilical cord when he was born. She was really sick. She was asking for him. He was going to be gone for 1 month. He got time off work. He had a return ticket. He left the mitts I made him because it wasn't that cold yet. I drove him to the airport. I didn't get out of the car or think about anything except if I had enough change for a coffee. He opened the door and then he leaned over and he gave me the hardest kunik ever, and then he grabbed his bag and he was standing on the concrete and the airport security was blowing a whistle at me to move the car. "See you," he said. "See you," I said. Inuit don't say goodbye. Thank you for listening, and it's been such a pleasure to be here. It's been such a gift. Thank you so much.